Hello and welcome back to Literally Heinous. I'm back from a little bit of a break. I went to Europe. I've been hashtag living that life, and we are back from Literally Heinous spring break with the perfect guest. We are family alumni, Logan Graves, the guy, okay? He's the fucking man. So Logan, I appreciate your support over the last year listening to Lit Hain. I'm so excited to have you on, so welcome.
Thank you so much. That's a very warm welcome. And you're always the consummate host, the best podcaster out there. You're like one of these like 30 to watch under 30, like successful bad bitches on the rise. And this podcast is so much fun to listen to. Even if I hadn't met you through the game show, I'm sure I would have stumbled upon it and fall in love with your personality.
Thank
And I'm
you
so glad to be here.
Thank you so much. That's so nice. You, I was reflecting on you since like we set the date to like record this, and I was thinking about like my first impressions of you and like you. Well, first of all, I just want to say, Logan. So you live in Idaho,
Nebraska, but it's all
Nebraska.
the
I'm
same.
sorry,
It's the
I get them
middle
all
of
confused. And
nowhere.
I know that you're a contractor, so you do like construction, things like that.
So at the time when we did the game show, I was a contractor. I was working for my parents, flipping houses, doing, drywall, windows, floors, and ceilings, and all that stuff. But at this point, I had quit that job, and now I'm working in a steel warehouse as a CNC machine operator, and I'm just fucking using lasers to cut steel all day.
So iconic. You are what
Very butch, right?
everyone
Super blue collar.
You're what everyone in Bushwick like thinks that they are. Like, do
Right?
you
I would have so
feel
much like street cred out there.
you have like if you came to Bushwick, like everyone would have to be like, pack it up, go home, like the king is home.
The new king has arrived.
Because you walk the fucking walk. Like all these guys in Bushwick, they have like Bushwick is where I live in Brooklyn. They have the mustache and the mullets
They
and the
want to dress like a
tats.
welder, right? Like they're wearing like
Yes.
work wear, like heavy duck cotton jackets and shit.
They do blue collar cosplay. And but they have like
Man, I should be offended by that, right? That's like my culture that they're
you
appropriating.
should be offended. Like your culture is not their costume.
No, that's my livelihood. Okay, this is what I do for a living. That's how I pay my bills. I should
Yeah.
be shaking. I should have a picket sign somewhere.
Yes, you should. Well, just know that everyone in Bushwick wants to be you and that you're actually way cooler than everyone, and you should be proud of that.
Thank you. I appreciate that compliment. I'll take that. I'll chew on that for a long time.
Okay, well, congratulations on your new job on steel cutting with lasers.
Yeah, I'm a plasma cutting technically, but it's pretty badass. I turn on all these fucking knobs and pipes, and I'll just cut steel into cool shapes, and then I send it off to all the welders. I get to be my job is pretty cool because I like being treated like a diva. I like doing the thing that nobody else is doing. I like feeling like I'm special.
Hmm.
And so I am working in like one corner of the warehouse where I just cut all this shit up and then I roll it over to the welders who every single one of them is like a filthy animal. And I'm just like, assemble these things that I cut up for you. But
Yeah.
I'll go back to my corner where I don't have to deal with you guys.
Oh my
I love
God.
it. It's awesome. It really works for me.
Do you have friends at work? You're such a like sweet, sensitive soul. Like, do you fit in with this blue collar crowd?
No, and really not actually at all. There's a lot of like I'm in Nebraska, so there are a lot of Republican leaning folks out here,
Hmm.
and that's really not how I roll. I so yeah, lunchroom conversations can sometimes lean that way, where I just have to be like, you know what, you people don't define me. You
Yeah.
people don't need to get me. I'm just here for my, my hot paycheck.
Yeah. Okay, well, good for you. And then I know that you have a wifey. How
I
is
do.
wifey
A
doing?
beautiful, gorgeous Chilean immigrant. And we got married in 2018. And we got this house in 2020. And it's a cute little two-bedroom here on the edge of downtown. And we love it. It's awesome. We got three cats, and we're just paying bills, trying to whittle down that mortgage, and
Yeah.
loving it out here.
Good. Okay, well, I'm so glad. Yeah. So I remember my first impression of you. I don't know if you remember meeting me, but I
I totally
remember,
remember meeting you, and it was a whirlwind of first impressions, actually. So I wish it was more of a like we got to meet each other, but it was like you were one of literally 99 people I met that day. And so it
Yeah.
was super whirlwindy, but you were absolutely a standout. I remember being
Aw.
like, that girl has some kind of you immediately struck me as a comedian. I was like, we gotta sit down and like talk comedy because
Yeah.
you have this incredible sense of humor that definitely comes across on the podcast all the time.
That's so nice.
And you were one of the 99 that I was like, okay, these other 88 can go fuck themselves, but you were one of the top where I was like, I need another conversation with this girl. She's so funny.
Thank you so much. You were in my wardrobe group, so like day zero. Do you remember we were
Yes, and we
in
did like a practice game
yeah.
on the way over, and it was way less chaotic when we were doing it in the small groups for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember we were waiting to be picked up and you were drawing. And I was like, who is this baddie over here? Because like I saw
You
the
know that
mullet and the tats.
that's a power move that I have in my back pocket. I always do that at interviews.
At
I'll just
interviews.
show up and just like start drawing shit, and people are always like, "Ooh, look at this creative young
Wow.
artist on the move."
Oh my
It
God,
is a
Logan.
power move for real. People see that and they go, "Okay, this guy isn't just sitting twiddling his thumbs. It's almost like hula hooping or something. You're like showing off a skill."
Yeah, wait, that's actually kind of tea. And it's kind of like, so you're not very nonchalant. You're actually pretty chalant.
No, nonchalance is not really part of my gig. That's not how you get anything done. That's not how you get what you want.
So you're not, okay, so in my head, I see this guy who's like effortlessly doodling in the corner, and then it's me and like five other people just like, da, 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 where are you from? Where are you from? And then I'm like, this guy, like, I thought you were a little too cool for school. I was like, I don't know. We probably wouldn't have anything in common. And
I was trying to give enough aloofness to to maybe give the impression that I'm cool and confident and I don't need your approval or whatever. But I didn't want to go too far to be like, fuck you. I didn't want to give
yeah,
off like fuck off energy.
yeah.
So yeah, that's a line that I walk, and sometimes folks will interpret my demeanor one way or the other.
Well, I loved it. It definitely worked on me. And I was like, I need to be his friend. And then once we got to talking, I was like, oh, he's actually so nice and normal. And he's not too cool for school.
I am a Midwest gentleman. My mother raised me to be kind, especially to women. I'm always like trying to open doors and shit, and so
Yeah, you're such a
there's
like
a little bit of that Midwest manners and just like growing up
yeah.
here in Nebraska
You're
for
you're a
sure.
girl's guy for sure.
I grew up really small. I was like underweight and like undersized. I was like 4 years behind like a lot growing up, and so I didn't fit in with the boys. I was always getting like shunned from like physical activity shit, and so I was always hanging out with the girls. I definitely am like a girls' guy. I'd rather sit and like gossip with a table of girls than like fucking bro out with the dudes who are actually talking about like really shallow, stupid, vapid shit anyways.
Yeah. Did you do like theater or anything, or did you just like to hang with the girls?
Did you say did I do theater?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I was really, really into theater even before I went to school. So I was homeschooled until I went to high school, and even then I went to a really tiny Christian school. But my mom was always trying to involve me in stuff. They signed me up for karate, they signed me up for Boy Scouts, and so there was like community theater mixed in there with like church pageants and stuff. I remember being like a wise man and being like really into the idea of being like, no, 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 I'm not the gold guy. I'm the frankincense guy. Like,
Yeah.
don't get my gifts mixed up. This is for the Messiah baby. And
Yeah.
I remember one time being David in a David Goliath play too, and everybody was like, "Oh, you're perfect for that," and I was like, "Shut up! I know I'm tiny." So it
Oh,
wasn't
because you're
until I was like
typecast.
16 that I became like a human height.
Yeah. I get that. I was a runt too, and it like damages your psyche.
And I also have like an older brother who were like really, really close in age. We're only 16 months apart. And he was always big for his age. And he was always fucking leaning on me, sitting on me, bending me and breaking me. And so it was like,
Yeah.
I was always reminded of like, in more
Yeah.
ways than one, of how
It
it's
was
not good to be
hard.
smaller than all your friends.
Yeah, I remember for a point in my life, like being small was like definitely my biggest insecurity when people would be like, oh my God, what grade are you in? Like
Yeah, I feel
seventh?
like
You look
maybe
like you're in fourth.
when it's a girl, it's weirder in different ways. but I feel like smallness in general for women, you're like seeking smallness. And it's like
Yeah.
men are always seeking bigness. It's like the bigger you are, the better.
Yeah, I know. And like,
But
yeah,
maybe that's like a post-puberty thing. It's like
I
you want
think
to
it,
be a small woman. You don't want to be like
yeah.
a mistaken for a kid or whatever.
Middle school is so weird. Like, even like today, like when you see packs of middle schoolers, one looks like they're 25, the other looks like they're 4.5. And I
Yeah,
was
man,
always like,
kids today are on another level. It's like I think about what was hard about being in seventh grade, back in
yeah,
long ago. I was 2003 or something, and
I
so
know.
nobody
So,
had
how old are
cell
you
phones,
now,
nobody was
if you don't mind
recording
me
you.
asking?
You barely had access to the internet. Everything was like child locked and shit.
Yeah. How old are you now, if you don't
So
mind
I'm
sharing your age?
35. I was born in 1989,
Okay. Thank you for
which
sharing that.
I mean, that's a great year to be born in. The last gasp of the 80s.
That is a great year to be born. There's an album named after it. Like,
Yes, no, I'm a Swiftie fan. She's actually born. We're like the same astrological sign because she's born like 2 days after I
really?
am on the
Wow.
same year. So
That's
every time I
amazing.
think, oh, I'm getting old, I'm old. Oh no, all these young kids running around. I'm like, no, I'm the same age as Taylor Swift, and she's looking.
Yeah, I cling to that. I cling to Charlie XCX and Julia Fox being in their 30s. Like anytime I start to feel like,
You're
oh
like,
my
you know
God,
what? It's not so bad. Maybe,
I'm getting
maybe
old.
if they can make it work, I can make it work.
100%. So, okay, I want to go back to homeschooling. So, were you homeschooled in Nebraska with your siblings?
Yes, I grew up here in Omaha, Nebraska my whole life. I've always lived here. I moved to Kansas City when I went to college. I went to art school in Kansas City. But yeah, I was homeschooled until I was 14, where I went to this private Christian school. And it was pretty cool being homeschooled. I liked it. I'm pretty smart and I'm kind of a self-starter, and I would always like get my shit done like as soon as I woke up. I'd like try to stack everything and like really go for it so that I'd be free for the rest of the day.
Okay.
And I feel like my other siblings were like, no, she said we have all day, so maybe I'm going to wait until after lunch kind of a thing. And so I feel like I got a little bit more out of it, and maybe it was working for me a little bit better than it was for my siblings. We all kind of like look back in hindsight and be like, mom wasn't a whole lot of helping me with like this and that, and
Yeah.
sometimes, and I was just like, no, she just handed you the book and asked you to fucking finish it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was very that she was trying to set you up for success to, if you're that self-starter like I kind of was. It worked really great, and I learned a lot, and I got to like skip whole stuff, and I was teaching myself things because I could recognize patterns. I was doing like multiplication and stuff in my head when she was like, no, no, do it out on like the paper and stuff like that. And so being homeschooled was really, really cool for me because I don't like being told what to do. I don't like being bossed around. And so it was very like, do your shit. And as long as it's getting done, that's called passing.
Yeah.
And so it was very, as long as you get the concept and you're, doing okay with the practice and stuff, that's it. That's called learning a skill.
Yeah. So, how many siblings were you homeschooled with?
So I'm one of four, and so I have an older brother and two younger sisters, and we're all, 1 or 2 years apart.
Okay. Did you have like a school in your basement? That's how I picture homeschooling.
It wasn't like a classroom where my mom stood in front of like a chalkboard and we all
Yeah.
stood in chairs like it is on like the cartoons or whatever.
Yeah.
It was very my mom like handing you a book and being like, come back in an hour
Wow.
when you're done with this chapter, and if you have questions, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
And so it wasn't structured like a class at all. And
Yeah.
so I feel like if you're the kind of person that needs that structure to like shut up and sit and listen, that really wouldn't have worked for you. But
Yeah.
it was really working for me because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go sit in a tree and read this. Like, I can, make up my own way of doing this my way.
Yeah. So were your other siblings as like, because you were kind of I feel like your whole life you've always been kind of like doing your own thing, like wanting
Yeah.
to like prove that to other people. Are your other siblings more conformists, or are they like that too?
I would say so. We grew up super, super conservative, and I feel like I'm like the only one who sort of evolved out of that and like sort of found liberal ideas and became more, I don't know, empathetic, more open-minded.
Hmm.
And I feel so. My brother is probably the most conservative of all of us. He is, oh, he is a children's minister, which means that he creates Christian content for children to help them understand the Bible and biblical knowledge or whatever, but
Okay.
he does it with puppetry in the style of Sesame Street. And
Cute.
so he has this whole online business that's very lucrative and very successful, and it's like very, very good for you, man.
Okay.
But it's actually, I'm super impressed by how creative it is. I think he's like one of the most creative people I know, but he's like super laser focused at this like really, really, I think, kind of close-minded,
Yeah.
maybe a little toxic, maybe a little misogynist kind of Christian themes.
Yeah.
So personally, deep down, I'm like, ugh, it's a little like I wouldn't do that, but it's working great for him, and he's super, super into the whole Christianity thing. He's got 3 kids of his own, and he's really, really strict with them. They don't get to watch like PG movies. It's like only G, and like no swearing of any kind. Like they don't. I hope he doesn't listen to this because it's embarrassing and personal. But his kids don't know the word poop. They don't want them to say poop, and so
Stop.
they say BMs. And so like a 3-year-old will come up to you and be like, "That dog did a BM. Oh no, it stinks." And you're like,
That is
I don't know. It's a little
insane.
too much sometimes where I'm just like, okay, these kids are going to be shocked when they hear the way the people talk in the world. Like they're going to get their
Yeah.
first job or something and like, they're going to be like, these people talk like sailors. And you're like, the
Yeah.
whole language you won't even understand. But I relate to that. I was definitely sheltered, and wasn't allowed to watch certain movies and
Yeah.
wasn't allowed to like hear cussing and stuff. But I feel like he's more strict than my parents were growing up.
Yeah. Poop is
And my
crazy.
sisters are cool. I have one that's a little too conservative for me, and one that's
Okay.
like a little bit more in agreement with like how I'm starting to evolve to boost that to behave now.
Yeah. Wow. So you're definitely like the black sheep of your family. So when was there, so I know on the game show, your whole thing and like you're into like classic rock, 80s rock, heavy metal, that sort of thing. I
Yes.
hope I'm still getting that right.
Yeah.
So was there a moment in your life, like a movie or an album that you discovered that like put you on that track?
So I will say that as a kid, I was more or less not allowed to listen to music that wasn't Christian music.
Yeah.
And so I had this weird inner craving for like hard music, like rock and roll, like heavier music, even as a little kid. And my parents were trying to
Yeah.
find Christian bands that sounded like the bands that I was like asking to be allowed to buy their CDs and stuff. And so I was really into Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco and My Chemical Romance was my favorite, and they were like, no, that's like a demonic band. Those guys are like
Yeah.
emo boys with skeletons and shit. Like, that's not holy. That's not for Jesus. And I'm like, it doesn't have
Yeah.
to be good.
Yeah.
And so by the time I'm like a 16, 17-year-old teenager, I was, asking these for this kind of music for a long, long time when I was like 12, 13, 14. And as soon as I'm a little older, they're getting a little easier on the rules and allowing me to kind of listen to whatever I want to now. And I got really into going to concerts, but I didn't have any money, so I was always going to like cheap concerts and local bands and these like underground basement shows and stuff that were like a $5 cover. My allowance was $10, and so I'd get a $5 cover and then get a Pepsi once I got inside or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had a blast and really my kind of found like the place I belong, the place where I feel like I do fit in here. I don't feel like that black sheep was like going to these like rock shows. And I remember there was kind of a funny moment where I realized that what I thought was like the power of God or the Holy Spirit or whatever that you feel in church when you're singing along with everybody
Hmm.
and, really feeling the music. It's like, that's music.
Yeah.
That's the power of music. That's you're appreciating that band's skill and these singers' ability to like lift you up. And any music can do this to you.
Yeah.
Even satanic music can do this to you. You know what I mean? Like AC/DC and Kiss and Motley Crue all have songs about running with the devil and the devil told me to and shit like that. It's like the musical quality of all songs can be appreciated in the way that, you know, Christian music or worship music. And I was sort of brought up to believe that swelling in your heart and that like emotion that you feel when like really good music is happening was like all about God and all about, you know, we're reading this Bible about this one specific character and that's what music means to us or whatever. It's a little broader than that, I think. I think it's a little bit more something deep in our human DNA to like, you know, feel the beat and like feel like we're all listening to the same thing at the same time kind of a thing.
Yeah. So do you play instruments or have you ever wanted to be in a band?
You know, I've always kind of wanted to be in a band. I've always sort of daydreamed about being that like kind of Freddie Mercury frontman. And I do have a little skill on the piano. I took a lot of piano lessons, but it was one of those things where my dad was like forcing me to pick an instrument. And so I was like, I guess the piano sounds easy. And he like sort of made me do it. And so at the time I was like not appreciating that this could be something cool I could really like carry on to an adulthood. I've only recently started trying to get back into piano, but I just appreciate it so much and I love live shows and I love performance and I like to participate in certain ways. I've been in musicals before in high school and in community theater as an adult. I love musicals. I have a huge love for like Broadway shows and stuff. And so that's another aspect where it's like you want to find music that makes you feel a certain way, that makes you feel good, that makes like takes you to a place or gets you out of yourself for a second.
Yeah.
And
so you're doing community theater in Nebraska now?
Yes. And so right before I did the game show, so this was like back in 2022, my buddy was doing a play that I'd heard of and really, really liked. And he was like, you should try out. You should come do the audition. I was like, I got a full-time job. I don't know if I'm going to add this on to everything. But I went and tried out, and they offered me a cool part, and I got to hang out with my buddy, who I usually don't get to get much time with or whatever. So fun. It was a really cool experience, and it was really, really fun. The show was called Something Rotten. I don't know if you've heard of it, but the long and short of it is Shakespeare is a character in the play, and the main character that we're rooting for is a playwright that keeps getting shot down by Shakespeare's thing. So they'll put out a play on the same day, and everybody will go to Shakespeare's play, and nobody will go to this guy's play, that kind of a thing. And so it's like a loser being like, oh, how do I compete with this genius kind of a thing. But it's really funny, and it's really fast-paced, and there's a lot of really great musical numbers, actually. It's a really fun musical. If you haven't seen it, I gotta recommend it. It's Something Rotten. It's very, very good. And I really wanted the Shakespeare part. I was like way too big for my britches, and I was like, I was going to get the lead. And I was like, it's my first play in a long time, and nobody knows me here, and these people all do this all the time. And so the Shakespeare part was really cool, and he got a lot of really fun moments, like being the asshole, being like, yeah, my plays always do the best, and yours are going to do terrible. And but it was super fun, and I ended up seeing that a different theater close by, like only like 30 minutes away, was doing the musical version of School of Rock, that Jack Black movie.
I've seen it.
So good, so fucking good.
Are you auditioning?
So, right, I auditioned like right away, and it was like going to be back to back, and it was like right as Something Rotten ends, you'll start the rehearsals for School of Rock. So I was already pretty strung out, but I was like, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. School of Rock, it's like totally one of my favorites of all time. And again, I was way too big for my britches. I thought I was going to get the lead. I was like, they want a guy with a mullet
my God.
playing this part. Like, it doesn't have to be like a fat loser. I can be like a slacker loser. You know what I mean? I don't have to be a Jack Black type to be right for this role. I really thought my hair was going to like do the talking for me. And the director gets one look at me and they go, no, we're going to make you the dick. We want you to be the villain, the asshole that like kicks him out of the band in the very first scene. And so that's the role he offered me, and I was like, can't say no to that. I really want to be part of this show, and maybe that's typecasting, and I can be really great at that. And so I get to open the show with my own musical number where I talk about like being too like hot for my girlfriend, and it's like I'm the hottest one in the room. I'm a 10 and she's a
Blushing.
2.
I'm literally
It
blushing
was
right
like
now.
I get to be like a real open the show by being full villain energy, and then the Jack Black character kind of comes in and ruins it at the end, and I
Yeah.
get all mad on stage and kick him out of the band. And it was a dream come true. It was so, so fun. And I ended up seeing how much work the guy who got the lead ended up having to do.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I was like, you know, my part's really chill. My part really isn't that much work at all.
Yeah.
And I get to have like a blast the whole time. So I think I won. I think I did get what the universe wanted for me because it was
Wait.
perfect. It was so much fun. It was awesome.
It
So I did
didn't.
that for a month.
So it's
So it
over.
was like
the
5 shows
performance?
a week for a month. So we did over 20 shows.
Okay, so you did the performances already?
Yeah, so this all happened like right before we did the game show. So I was like auditioning for other stuff and like sending videos to other places.
So fun.
When I sent a video to the game show being like, I'm perfect for TV. I'm great on stage. Everybody loves me over here. I'd be great on TV. Put me on a game show. Put a microphone in my face. Let's go.
Yeah. School of Rock is my favorite movie. Like,
So good. Oh my
hands down.
God. Jack Black is a genius. A
It's the
real
best.
genius.
And I love like Mike White with like White Lotus. I'm so happy for him. But like true School of Rock heads.
Yeah, what a left turn from School of Rock. Like a
I know.
wholesome children's entertainment about like the power of music. He's like rich people fucking each other. And you're like, oh wow, okay, sure.
School of Rock is the best movie of all time. Jack, my boyfriend, and I quote it constantly. Like it just lives in my brain. Like I can quote the entire movie. For years, we've been wanting to do School of Rock for Halloween because I wanted to be Spider and have him be Dewey
The
Finn.
top?
Yeah.
And you gotta just like viral the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
I think we might do like with our other friend Michael. I think he wants to do it too. And I might just go Miss Mullins, you know, she's the man.
Totally. You're the man. Oh, that
Miss
movie
Mullins,
does
you're the
rock. It
man.
really is good. I was the perfect age for it when it came out. I was like the same age as like the kids in the classroom.
Yeah.
So I really was getting exposed to a lot of this music where he was like, oh, you gotta listen to this and this and that. And I was like, you're right. I should be listening to this. I've never heard of that. What is that? What's this?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember my like whole family was really into it. Like I remember watching it with all my cousins and being like, this movie is the best. And it never got old. Like it aged
No,
perfectly.
absolutely. It's aged perfectly. And I think it's the perfect kind of movie to get a musical. You know what I mean? Like some
Yeah.
musicals that they go from movie to musical, you're like, you know, I don't know if that makes sense as a musical.
Yeah.
But was awesome. It was really, really perfect. So they
Yeah,
got to do
I
like
saw
big
it
rock
in-
numbers and
I
stuff.
saw it in college and I really liked it and it was good. Yeah, it's just so good. The end scene makes me cry every time, like when it's all the kids on stage and
Yeah.
he's like, your son is very skilled. Like
And the proud parents are just like, we're actually proud. We're not mad. We're proud.
I literally like I will cry every single time. It's the best movie I've ever seen. But speaking of musical adaptations that are really good, Legally Blonde, so good.
You know, I haven't seen the musical version, but I have heard that it's very good. I know it won a bunch of Tonys that year.
It's insane. You can find the whole thing on YouTube, like the whole performance.
Nice. I love
Laura Bell Bundy is Elle Woods. The opening number is like my favorite musical opening number of all time. I got Jack into it and now we sing it all the time. It's like an 8-minute long opening number.
Just twirling around the kitchen.
And it's so good. That song, I cry during musical theater. Like I just always get emotionally moved.
you gotta let it wash over you. I just recently saw the Beetlejuice musical here in
Oh,
town. It was a traveling show, and we had so much fun. It was a blast. It was really, really fun. Very
Yeah.
Tim Burton energy.
I've heard some of the songs from it. But I need to see it. And then, yeah, Les Mis is my favorite musical of all time.
Dude, I have not seen the musical. I gotta say, I'm a bad theater boy. I've only seen the movie.
I have, at least you've seen the movie. I remember
I saw
when
the
it
movie and I
came out.
loved it. It definitely made me cry at more than one.
Yeah, I got really into it, and it came out when I was in high school. It came out my freshman year of high school, and I like hated it. And I saw it in theaters, and I was like, "This is so
You're like,
boring."
this is stuffy French shit.
And then I had to watch it again in a class that I took, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I just needed my palate to age like 3 years, and then I was like, "This is the best thing I've ever seen." And then
The exact same thing happened to me with Phantom of the Opera.
so
The first time I
yeah.
saw it, I was like, this is weird. What the fuck is going
Yeah.
on? it's like a circus or a theater or what the hell? And the second time I saw it, I was like, this is a masterpiece.
It's
What was I saying?
insane. Yeah. And then I saw it live when Jack and I were living in Detroit. It came to Detroit and it's unfucking real.
Dude, I've got to see it live. Those songs are so powerful.
It gets me
Some
going.
of his best work.
It literally gets me going. Okay, so sorry for the sidebar. So what else? Do you have anything on the horizon with musical theater?
So I gotta say, I had my heart set on Little Shop of Horrors. It was a couple years back, and I was so determined to be the dentist. I wanted to be the dentist so bad. And assuming I would get it, I had like practiced for months and talked to a vocal coach, and I was like getting these songs like down pat and like learning all the words and trying to watch YouTube videos to see if there was any like choreography I could learn pre-hand or whatever, and did the audition. I sang the Star Spangled Banner. Maybe that was a reason why that it didn't work out or whatever, but didn't get it, didn't get a call back, was a little heartbroken, a little taken aback, like who the fuck, who they gonna get? I was like dying to see the show to see like if he better be the best singer in the world kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was like so cocky, what an asshole. But I really, truly loved that show and just wanted to be a part of it. And did end up seeing it, and the guy that they got instead of me did do a great job. I guess.
So annoying.
Whatever.
But
annoying. It's one of those shows that I just love. I do listen to that
why did you
soundtrack
sing
all
the
the
Star
time
Spangled
just
Banner?
for fun.
Why'd you sing the Star Spangled Banner if you learned the other songs?
Good question. So on the one hand, they don't want you to sing the songs from the show. They want you to pick like a little something that tells them something about you. And so even though I was dead set on being the dentist, I can't just show up and sing the dentist song.
Okay.
They want me to sing something that shows my range or whatever.
Star Spangled
I went
Banner.
back and forth. I was actually going to do, I was like, Billy Joel or Elton John. I could do a Billy Joel song, that's in my range, or an Elton John song, that's in my range. And I went back and forth for a long time. And then I was like, I need to be the diva. I need to be the best in the room. I need to be the one that they'll never forget that's going to stand out. And so I was like, really feeling my Whitney Houston energy, I fucking guess, and like decided to do the Star Spangled Banner. I thought I crushed it. I thought I really did a good job. I thought I could have opened up, a hockey game or, a baseball match or what the fuck ever, but I guess they didn't dig it because I didn't get cast.
Star Spangled Banner is an elite. People don't realize how hard the Star Spangled Banner goes. And I have been singing the Star Spangled Banner, like, it goes... Sometimes I just crave, like, I would love to scream the Star Spangled Banner right now at the top of my lungs.
Seriously, it's one of those things you do when you're like in a big open field or like looking down from a mountain or something. You're just like, I need something that swells and then explodes at the end. Like, okay.
It's so good. I remember I was like, two of my friends, we were doing debaucherous activities at like in my one friend's like loft fancy Soho apartment that she shares with her boyfriend, whatever, and we are so lit on the fire escape, like we're pre-gaming, going so hard, we just erupt in the Star Spangled Banner. And like I'm singing it
so often when you erupt in the Star Spangled Banner, it's in the middle. You're just like, and the rocket's red, and you're like, no, there's a whole, you skip, okay, yeah, keep going,
and
whatever.
then her boyfriend starts like banging on, and this guy is French, and he's banging on the window, and he's like, shut the fuck up.
He's like, no one wants to hear the song, especially the French people amongst you.
No, it's elite. Like, singing, yeah. So I don't blame you for singing the Star Spangled Banner. It's a crazy choice,
right.
But it's good.
I sit and ponder before I do something important, like, what's a power move I can, like, pull off? Like, what's a cute little trick I can do that's going to, like, make an impression or, like, make them feel like I'm, worthy of their, meeting their expectations or what the fuck ever.
You're so methodical. And I love that about you. There's no part of you that's effortless.
It's really in the moments when I know that it matters. Because in the regular moments when I feel like this is just like a regular day,
yeah,
I do very little thinking before I do shit.
Yeah.
But in those moments where I'm like, okay, the spotlight is going to be on me, and I'm going to have to make it count. I always overthink those moments. And when it's an audition, you're like, okay, they want me to do something kind of like the character, or they just want to see me? or they, want to see my range, or they want to see me kind of push my range. Like, do they want to,
Yeah, well,
it's
you were
maddening to
so
think
good
about like
during
others.
WAF too. Like everything, whenever you got called on by Anthony, like your answers were just like 10 out of 10. You like hit your mark perfectly.
That's so funny for you to say because that's like the thing that I feel like I fucked up on. It's like when I'm watching it on TV, I'm like, why am I so like low energy? It's like I feel like I could like act like I'm happy to be here more, or act like I'm excited about the celebrity coming up or something. I feel like I was kind of doing that. I want to be a little aloof. I want to be a little like,
Yeah.
I'm not your biggest fan, Anthony, but I do have the answer for you, champ, like kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, it was hard. I was always like filming the game show that we were on was I like no I don't, it was a lot of anxiety for me and like being on camera and like having to act excited and then like hearing Anthony call your name and like your whole body just like tenses and you're like,
And
"Oh
all
my
these
God, it's
cameras start
happening."
to turn in.
Yeah. And then thankfully I always said something that I was like proud of. Like at the end of the day, I was always like, "Okay, like as
It
long as
was
I didn't
it was
say anything
good
like
TV. It was literally
crazy."
moments where you're just like, they're using that in the clip. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's gold. Like that was so funny.
I had such like bad intrusive thoughts when I was filming WAF. I don't know if do you get intrusive
Maybe that's
thoughts?
what they want. Maybe they're like totally. They're like, this girl's got intrusive thoughts.
I have horrible intrusive thoughts. Like if I'm on a rooftop, I'm always like, what if I just jumped off, or what if
It's
I
like,
like
what if I
threw my
jumped off?
phone
That'd
off?
be the grand finale to me singing the national anthem.
And then, or like if I'm holding a baby, I'm like, what if I just like spit in the baby's face? Like, I don't know. And I don't know if other people do that, but
You're like,
like,
is this what hormones feel like?
and then during WAF, I'd always be like, what if Anthony calls on me and my brain blacks out and I say the most like offensive thing in the world that I would never ever say, but what if I just did? You know?
Yeah, I always feel like my brain blackouts. I just look like an idiot, and I'm not gonna look like. I'm not gonna say something that makes me look like a monster or something. I'm just gonna look dumb. I'm gonna look like one of these like Midwestern idiots.
Uh, it was stressful, but you know what? My mind never betrayed me. My body never betrayed me. So like it was always fine, but it's always in the back of my head.
Can I be honest? Can I be 1,000% honest
Yeah.
right now? Anthony wasn't as fun as Joel McHale.
Oh my God. 100% agree. Joel McHale, I
They
left.
made him the finale. They could tell. They could feel the vibe in the room. And they were like, this isn't like a mid-season break. This is a big finisher. Everybody loves Joel McHale. And it was fucking true.
Joel McHale was watching. So our game show, our main host was Anthony Anderson. Google him, whatever. And then for 10
So he was
episodes,
the
but
first 8 episodes.
for
When you watch it on TV.
when you watch it on TV, but when we were filming it, we filmed like not in the order that they aired. So like in the middle of the 10 episode filming, Joel McHale guest hosted for 2 episodes. And he was a masterclass in like comedy and hosting. Like I was watching him because there you could read the teleprompters ahead of time and there would be like pre-written jokes for the host. And Anthony read what was on the teleprompter, which is fine. Okay, you did your job, whatever. Joel McHale would read what was on the teleprompter and then do 5 or 6 more takes where he would improvise his own jokes and like riff off of himself. And he was fucking incredible.
It was giving like genius. It was giving like, okay, this is all right, but I've got a couple more ideas. And you're just like watching a genius at work. It was, and he's funny and he was a gentleman and he was trying to lift up the guests and tell people that they had perfect pitch and shit like that Anthony never did.
Yeah, Joel McHale, it took longer to film his episodes. Each episode it took about like 4 hours to film. Joel's always took longer because he would do multiple takes with like improvising different lines or like he'd be like, no, I'm gonna do that. And I could have sat there all fucking day and
They were
watched him.
longer, but they didn't feel longer because
Yeah.
it was like engaging. It was, you were being entertained.
I was melting. And then when the cameras were off, like breaks in between, or if they were like fixing the stage, he would like mingle in the risers
He
and
would,
like
yeah, he wasn't
talk
too
to
cool to mingle.
every one of us. And he was kind of like
mingled
gossipy
with
too.
us. He was too cool.
Yeah, Anthony was a little too cool for school, but Joel McHale, I was watching him and I was like, how is he not like on the same level as like Conan O'Brien, Jimmy Fallon? Like, how is he not one of those? He's so funny and so nice. I'm obsessed with him.
Yeah, he's busy. He's definitely booked like left and right. He's all over the place right
He's
now.
booked and busy, but not like enough. Like he does a lot of like
I feel like
Fox cable
status wise, you're
shows.
right. He needs to be talked about as being one of these like
He
Mount
needs like a
Rushmore's best
big,
hosts of all time kind of things.
he needs his like primetime or like streaming hit HBO, some sort of like
Yeah.
he needs his like Jennifer Coolidge moment. Or like just something
Where's his star role? It's been
like
waiting for him all
where
these
is
years.
Joel McHale's starring role? Like needs someone needs to fucking put him on like a brand new like hot Hulu Apple TV show
Right.
and like let him shine. And I could talk about him all day. My boyfriend, after when I got back from filming, got so tired of hearing me talk about Joel
He
McHale
was
because
like, yeah, enough about Joel
it was
McHale.
all I could talk. He's so hot. He's like 6'2", like gorgeous, and he did admit that he's had like 3 transplants, hair transplants. Like
He's
he
looking
was
at me being like, you son of a bitch, you got what I want so bad. No,
he was so
I
like
feel like I was getting a little bit of favoritism from him actually. Like, I don't
yeah.
want to toot my own horn, but he was coming back to me being like, hey, how's the hair? Like, how, we got Logan from Omaha over here.
Yeah, he knew who you were. Yeah, you guys had such good banter. He told me that I looked like I walked off the set of Yellowstone, and I was like,
You're like, yes, I'll piss in a bucket, whatever you want, man.
anything. Oh, he was amazing. He was kind of like gossipy, which I loved. Like he talked about his hair transplants. He like talked a little bit about like Chevy Chase and like Community and
Yeah, he was like, actually, I'm not afraid to talk about that. He was a dick.
yeah, he's
Oh man,
such a
he
good
was just
person.
really warm. He was a really cool guy. I definitely didn't feel that like I'm I'm on a different level than you guys. So stay down on your little.
He's incredible. And he's like a good person too. His son, he has like a 20-year-old son who's autistic, so he's like special needs dad, and he's like a huge advocate for like autism.
That
And
definitely puts empathy into you, whether you like it or not. You know what I
so
mean? Like
true. And he
people
was
want
a
to have
guest
those.
host. He's like loved in the drag race community because he was a guest host on RuPaul's Drag
I
Race.
totally remember that episode. I'm a huge RuPaul's Drag Race fan. Me and my
You
wife
are.
have seen every episode from every country because we bought the special streaming Wow Presents Plus app. We're really into RuPaul, so I am very familiar with the episode you're talking about. And it was really funny because it seems like Michelle Visage hates his guts.
Yeah.
And every time he says something, they like edit it in that she's like rolling her eyes or like fucking get a load of this guy kind of energy. But they're like really good friends. They were good friends for years before this. They both grew up in New Jersey.
Yeah. And like I don't know, I just love him. Like I saw it like went viral on Twitter like a year ago, like just his clips. And like people
So
were
funny.
commenting like, "Who's this straight white guy? Like he doesn't deserve to be on RuPaul's." And then all the drag race community.
No,
We
don't you
love
talk about my Joel
McHale.
McHale.
He's the best. Oh, okay. I hope he gets his flowers. I'm so glad we got to talk about him because
Absolutely.
I feel like
He deserves those flowers.
I haven't hit my
So
Joel McHale
okay, that was one
quota.
of the high points of the game show. I want to let's get down in the nitty gritty. What were some of the low points from this game show? Obviously, being kind of isolated from your family or your partner or whatever is
Yeah.
not cool, but that was really what I was feeling.
Yeah, I know. I remember you telling me that and how like isolated you felt. And I felt that too. But my family lives in Atlanta, so I like went home during the weekends and like
Nice.
yeah, and I had my brother's car there, so I was able to kind of like and then I met
You were wheeling
Taylor.
and dealing. You were a free agent.
I I was a free agent and I felt bad for like people like you that just were kind of stuck there. So I was able like and Taylor's from Atlanta too. Like Taylor and I became best friends the first day and like
Right.
haven't
You
stopped.
two had like the best vibes out the gate, by the way. I was like, we got like the new Broad City over here. It's like these two, you guys had banter, but you were also like really cool and kind and weren't like actually talking shit on people that didn't deserve it. Like only the
Yeah.
people that deserve
We met and haven't stopped talking since. We're like I'm not exaggerating. We're
it.
always
So she's
texting.
still in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, well she wants to move here.
Well, I know she's visited you like what 6 times since you since you moved out there.
Yeah, well we try to visit each other like once every like 2 months.
It's a really quick flight, actually. I'm trying to think of like where it is in the country, and it's not that far.
Yeah, it's so easy. Atlanta to New York is just like 2 hours and they're both Delta hubs, so you can get here pretty easily and pretty cheap.
Chill, very chill.
Yeah. So yeah, I think one of the low well, it was right when Joel came. The other thing that was so magical about Joel is that he came right when we needed him
Right.
because we filmed
There was like a bunch of delays somebody
Yeah,
got
so
COVID or
we
something,
had
right?
like a good schedule going. It was like one episode every other day, and then we had the weekend and then we had Monday off or something, and or oh no, sorry, I'm like so we were gonna film Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Anthony couldn't make scheduling Monday for whatever reason.
And
So
they're
we
like, that's cool. We'll just do two the next day. And we're like,
so
okay, that
then
sounds like a long day, but okay.
we had 4 days of downtime, and I remember the downtime like really made me kind of stir crazy because it was
Kind of
like,
dragging on, being like,
yeah,
let's get this show on the road.
yeah, like filming was good because it was like fast paced, like, the days would go by quickly, but we had the full weekend. We had Monday canceled for whatever reason, and then Tuesday was planned to be off. So, and then they were like, okay, sorry, we're gonna have like a 4-day weekend, and then we're gonna film 2 episodes Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so,
And we're like, 2 days, three
yeah,
days in a
like
row. Oh,
2 episodes. Yeah, because each episode would take about
okay.
4 hours. So whatever. And I remember the vibes were abysmal because we were all feeling really cooped up. And
Right.
then we got an announcement that we had a guest host, and it was Joel McHale, and it just saved everything.
We were like, fine, our savior has arrived. Like,
It
we
was just
need
like
a fucking vibe check.
a shake up, and like I was actively watching Community at the time, or I had like just finished
So it was
it.
like serendipitous. You were like, I just saw you.
Yeah, and he was just on The Bear too for a few episodes. So like Anthony, when they announced him, didn't really mean anything to me. I mean, I thought it was going to be Jamie Foxx. I think we all
Right. The
thought
whole
Jamie
time I
Foxx.
had heard Jamie Foxx also. And so I was like, oh, maybe they're friends and he's like doing him a favor. Like he had to dip out last minute or something.
Yeah, so that was, yeah, when we first got there, everyone thought it was Jamie Foxx, and then I heard murmurings of like, well, it might not be, and I was like, huh? And then when it was Anthony Anderson,
Is Google wrong? Has it ever been?
I don't know who this guy is. Um, yeah, it was good. And then I don't know, I love WAF. I will always say it was one of the best experiences of my
We
life.
powered through. But yeah, it was a little like theater camp, but it was also a little like prison camp. That meme you posted, I was like, yes. Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah, like when all the like White Lotus stuff coming out with like Jason Isaac, who plays like the North Carolina dad, just like when he would talk about it, I'm like, not to compare my experience on a cable Fox TV show to the White Lotus, but like I fucking get it because he was saying like they were all in Thailand for 7 months, like renting out an entire resort for 7 months.
Which is crazy. That's like
And
longer
then
than a movie shoot, way longer.
so fucking long. And you have big personalities because people are actual stars. Like at WAF, we were all cooped up for 3 weeks,
Right.
like same hotel, big personalities still, but like, I don't know. And then I think about like everything and like how WAF, it just felt like everything moved so quickly. Like I felt like once I was there for 24 hours, I felt like I already knew everyone and all the dynamics and who was friends with who and like who
Right.
liked
People
each
were already
other.
starting to like click up.
And then like a week shifted, and then like all the vibes changed, and then there were other like cliques of people, and then towards the end,
Well, it was weird because it was like Survivor because people were leaving. You know what I mean? People would win
yeah,
and then like get like kicked off the show or whatever, but they were actually leaving the hotel. And so you're like, okay, shit, we were gonna hang out with that guy. He was
yeah,
gonna bake the pizza or whatever.
yeah, it was just, and then like Taylor and I called it horseshoeing, but like the people in the beginning who I met, like some people in the beginning I was like, oh, I don't know about them, like I don't think we'd be friends, or like I don't think we have anything in common, or like I don't like this person. By the end I'm like, I fucking ride for that bitch, like that's my
I
best
was
friend.
so wrong. I was so wrong.
And it's so weird how much like things change. So when the like White Lotus stuff was coming out, and people are like, I don't know, online, like not getting it. And I was like, I fucking get it. I could not imagine doing We Are Family for 7 months in a foreign country with actual HBO money and salaries and celebrities. Like, I can't imagine.
No, you'd all hate each other by the end of it. There's no way that
There's
this is a
no
recipe for success.
fucking way. And then literally swear I talk about this every Literally Heinous episode, but like with Wicked being filmed for 2 years in London, like, yeah, I bet multiple marriages ended because of that.
Yeah. When you hear about the timeline, you're just like, 2 years come again, pardon me? Yeah, okay, yeah. Of course they're pairing up. They've got no one else in the world is doing what they're doing for 2 years.
Yeah, like WAF was so crazy for 3 weeks. I could not imagine doing something for like 7 months to 2 years and then
Do you
having
remember
like
when we were
actual
sitting around
money.
and trying to add up like the money, like what they spent on flying us out here, what they spent on hotel rooms for every night? It was like we were trying to do the math and it got over like $10 million to do like this dumb show that, you know, who's going to see? It's not like Jeopardy or something where it's this mega show and it's maybe worth that kind of price tag, but it's like $10 million.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't think I was there for that but it did occur to me. So it's like, okay, you're flying 115 people out and that's just the contestants and you're paying for their hotels, food, and then you have to pay for the crew and then the talent, the makeup people, their hotels, the
The whole
fancy hotels
set,
that the
the
celebrities
warehouse.
stay in.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's crazy how much money. And then I'm like, God, how much does White Lotus cost? Like, imagine like having to
Right?
reserve
Where
the
they have
Four
like
Seasons,
real cameras
the
and real
Four Seasons
locations and stuff.
Thailand, because they shut down that hotel. Like that hotel didn't operate for 7 months.
Right.
And then you have
Which
to
is crazy.
pay like, you know,
And it's one of these like $20,000 a night kind of places, and you're like,
yeah.
you paid 2 months of $20,000 a night.
And then like, what is like the main cast, like the principal cast? What's their paycheck? Huh? And then like advertising on top of it. I'm like, how did they even afford that?
Yeah, it was like a working vacation. All the days they had off, I'm sure they were at like the beach trying to
Yeah, I read
unwind.
somewhere that like season 2 in Italy, the cast like partied really hard and it was like a whole thing. So season 3, I read that they didn't party as hard because everyone was like
Oh,
taking it really seriously. Because like season 2 is what like really put White Lotus on the map. So by
right.
season 3, everyone was like, okay, this is a really big deal. Don't jeopardize it. And also, it was like really hot there, I guess, and they weren't allowed to
Yeah.
tan because like
Right.
they were only there for a week, so like they couldn't get like tan.
Right. The characters wouldn't be tan, so they wouldn't be tan. And one of the actresses is on a different show called Gilded Age. I remember she was like,
Oh yeah, Carrie King.
I'm a fine lady from the 1800s. I
Yeah.
can't be tan.
Yeah. I would love to know like what happened on set, like who hooked up, what the gossip is, like
Right.
who the cliques were. I'd give
That
anything.
Schwarzenegger boy gives me bad vibes. I feel like he was
No.
typecast as like that
I
kind of
I
creepy
feel like he's
jock.
sweet in real life. I've like watched a couple of his interviews. It's got to be hard to have a good head on your shoulders when your dad is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right. And I
He
feel like
seems sweet.
he's like not he's like, "Oh, I don't want to talk about that," or whatever. And you're like, "But that's all anybody wants to talk about. So what the hell are we supposed to talk about?"
Yeah. I've liked the interviews that I've watched with him. He seems really sweet and he's been dating his fiance for 10 years, which I think is kind of like remarkable for like a young, attractive, rich person.
Sure. Yeah, that's not nothing to shake stick at. 10 years, good lord.
Yeah.
Who else is on that show? I love Amy Lee Wood
Yeah. She's the
from
best.
Manchester. She was so good on Sex
Sex
Education on
education.
Netflix. Really, really funny. She can deliver the drama and those funny lines. With the line she delivers where she's like, "There's not a drug in the world that'd make me
Yeah.
fuck my brother."
Yeah. Like
I
everyone
fell out of
has
my
their own
fucking
thing.
seat. I couldn't believe. Just like, yeah, maybe you were high on drugs, but there's not a drug in the world.
Yeah. Like not a drug in the world that would make me do that with my brother. But everyone has their own
God,
thing. I
and
don't judge.
I don't judge. I don't judge. No,
I loved like
I'm a
Mike
Pisces
White's
or what the fuck ever.
Mike White's casting was so I remember being a little disappointed at first when I read the cast list because I was like, I don't really know any of these names. But I'm
Yeah, when they
so
paired
glad.
up Walton Goggins and Amy Lee, I was like, that's fucking weird. And then the
Yeah.
whole show, they address how weird it is and how
Yeah.
like unnatural they look together. And it was like, okay, good. I'm glad they're like addressing this and not just being
Yeah.
like, we're a regular couple. Nobody bats an eye.
Yeah, I didn't recognize like any of the names really. Like I knew Amy Lee Wood from Sex Education, but that was it. Like I was not familiar with Parker Posey. I was not familiar with any of
Oh,
the
Parker
three
Posey,
girls.
she's a New York legend. She goes way, way back.
I know, but I'm so glad because now I have like so much love for like all these new actors. Now I'm like, okay, I can't wait to
Yes.
see where they go.
I feel like the
But
internet had so much love for Jennifer Coolidge and that
yeah,
character and that whole vibe that she was giving that it just got transferred to Parker Posey's character being like,
yeah,
okay, we need one of these like kind of middle-aged ladies who's a little space cadet but super lovable and always
yeah.
saying the most bizarre shit to people.
Yeah.
We need that in our lives.
I
And
feel like,
Jennifer Coolidge died, so we need somebody to fill
yeah.
those shoes.
Yeah, I feel like in media recently, in recent years, there's been a lot of love for like quirky, middle-aged women, and it makes me
Yeah,
so excited because I'm like, okay, I can still be like weird and quirky and like even when
you
I'm
can
like
grow into your 40s and not kill yourself.
100%. Okay, so dream cast for White Lotus season 4. Who do you want?
Okay, well, I feel like what makes White Lotus work so well is that they get like funny people and dramatic people to
Yeah.
do this weird shit.
Yeah.
And so I'll try to pick a couple of each. I want to see Seth Rogen be maybe the next host of the next hotel. I want to see him kind of like
Okay.
type A wound up,
Yeah.
trying to please everybody. I want to see him do that. That'd be super interesting. And I love Seth Rogen. All his
Yeah.
movies are like some of my favorites. Wouldn't it be funny if it was like Will Ferrell or somebody who else? It's like you're used to seeing him do like ridiculous
Yeah.
shit. If like he was like looked like Ron Burgundy, but was one of these like hotel managers, like trying
Yeah.
to get everybody into the nicest room or whatever.
Yeah.
And who
Um,
else? I want Julie Louis-Dreyfus. I feel like she's already
she's
in
on
with
mine.
the HBO people because she's
Yeah.
like a legend for Veep.
Yeah.
Um, and she can kind of go back and forth between being serious and like telling you off versus like cracking
Yeah.
jokes and banter and shit.
Yeah, she's on mine. I would love to see Julia Louis-Dreyfus, JLD. She's perfect. I wish she would do it. And then
Totally.
I would love to see Matthew Lillard. Do you know him?
Matthew Lillard. Is he like a
He's
Broadway guy?
No, he's Shaggy from the live action Scooby-Doo.
Oh yes, yes. Okay, yes. I
And
absolutely
he
know
was
Matthew.
also in Dead to Me, I think.
So I feel like the whole internet would be like, "Well, he's the killer. He was the killer in Scream, and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. He's the."
Like I love like that caliber of person that's just like kind
Yes,
of a
never quite made it big, but is
yeah.
still super recognizable.
Like kind of a C-lister, had some like iconic roles a few years ago. People
Right.
kind like that was
Isn't
literally
isn't too
Jennifer
big to
Coolidge.
do like a Comic Con or like a signing event for fans or
Yeah.
whatever. Those kind of
Um,
guys are gold.
yeah, I feel like he would be perfect for it.
Already in the horror scene, like horror fans already dig it.
Yeah, I'd love
I
to
want to
see
see
him.
somebody. I want to see like funny women like Amy Poehler or Tina
Yeah.
Fey would be
Like
so funny
Kristen
playing
Wiig
like a
would be
rich lady.
perfect.
Either of them playing like a rich, indignant bitch would be like hilarious.
Yeah. Kristen Wiig is great because she's like super dramatic
Yes. Oh
too,
my
kind of
God,
indie.
Kristen Wiig would do so much. Yeah, she's great. She's pretty perfect.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I know it's like the most coveted thing in Hollywood. Like everyone
Right. I feel like
auditioned.
season 4. I wonder if they've even started talking about locations or what.
I think it's in
What kind
Greece.
of ball is rolling on season 4? It's
Yeah.
so well beloved. Like the internet is just gushing.
Yeah. Okay, so just a couple more things before we wrap. So I know you frequented stand up a little bit. Are you still doing
Yes,
stand up?
I am absolutely. We've got a pretty decent comedy scene in Omaha, Nebraska, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to do open mics, I could do it every single night of the week besides Sunday and Tuesday. So
Okay.
I could do it almost every night. And there's one that's kind of like the big one that everybody goes to that's really crowded that always gets a big list. And that one's usually the most fun because you get a big crowd and it's a better stage and stuff. But yeah, I love stand-up comedy. I've always loved comedians like Jerry Seinfeld and Chris Rock and stuff. And so
Hmm.
I like being on stage. I've been in musicals and stuff, and so getting up on
Yeah.
stage and getting to do my own material is always lots of fun. And I'm the kind of person that doesn't really care what other people think, and I'm not going to be crushed if I bomb or
Yeah.
a joke doesn't go over or nobody gets it. I'm kind of just up there to have fun, and that's
Yeah.
really what I try to get out of it.
That's amazing. Yeah, the open
I know
mic.
New York has got to be like a bajillion.
Oh my God, the
It's
open
like
mics.
stand-up comedy on speed.
There's some people that do like 8 open mics a week. I recently,
You can go to more than one a night, right?
yeah, I just heard about someone that does like 14 open mics a week. Isn't that
See,
crazy?
here they're like, I want to do an open mic. Oh, you're doing it that night? Then I won't do it. I'll do a different night. Cool. I don't want to step on your toes. And New York is like, there's a million clubs, man. It's chaos.
It's crazy. I mean, I've never done an open mic. The Brooklyn and Manhattan open, like it's a very different divide in Brooklyn and Manhattan. So I've only done Brooklyn ones. And you need to like it rewards you the more that you go. Like the more often
Right,
you go, if you keep going to the same ones, you get to know the host. And then I think that's when you can do the whole like two mics in one night. Because it's
right.
if you
Because you
get
know
put
the guy, you can be like, "Can I squeeze in?" You're not over here being
yeah.
like, "I hope my number gets pulled." You're
Yeah. And
like,
it's
you're somebody's doing you a favor.
yeah, like when I was going consistently, it is really fun when you're going consistently because you see the same people, you get in a groove. It's literally going to the gym. If you stop going, it's so hard to restart because now when I go back again, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know anyone. Like, I always get put last. And then it's so annoying when like a famous comedian, like I've been in this situation where like I'm at the end, like my back is hurting from the stools, everyone's leaving after their set, and then like some like famous comedian swoops in and like fucking crushes. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it was awesome. All right, fuck you.
Now I have to follow that. Like, thanks again.
It's not annoying because it's also like I get it because for those comedians, like he's at the point where he's getting paid for things. So it's like I also understand if you're doing a paid gig, not wanting to do like brand new material for the first time when you're getting paid. So you like show up to these open mics and then like all the youngsters are like,
Yeah. Well, there's so much. Comedy is about momentum, and you're
yeah,
absolutely right. It's like the more you go, the more you're feeling, the rhythm of your act, and the more you're kind
yeah,
of getting your jokes down versus like going out on a limb and trying
a
something
hundred
new.
percent. Okay, so just wrapping up. So what is next for Logan? Are you auditioning to be on more TV shows? You need to like grace the country with your presence. So like
You're
what
absolutely
else?
right. I don't have any feelers out for any TV shows, but I'm always willing. I'd be super happy to be on TV again. That experience with the game show was a lot of fun. It was really educational. I really
Hmm.
loved seeing like the behind the scenes of like how to film a show. It was really, really eye
Yeah.
opening. And maybe someday I'll be the host of a game show. Maybe someday I'll be on another game show. I have all kinds of wild ideas in my head. But yeah, I'm kind of keeping my eyes out for plays and musicals around town in community theater that I could be in. I love that Beetlejuice musical we talked about earlier, and
Yeah.
I'd be a shoe-in for Beetlejuice if they ever did it in one of these
You would
theaters
be a
close
shoe in.
by. And I love Rocky Horror Picture and, Sweeney Todd. And there's lots of things that kind of fit my vibe that I would love to audition for if the opportunity ever comes up. But yeah, I'm just going to keep doing my thing, paying my mortgage, cutting my steel,
Yes.
and going to these open mics and feeding these losers all my weird jokes.
Right. Well, you have a bright future in store, and I can't wait for
Well, yeah,
everyone.
after my podcasting debut, maybe I have a future in podcasting.
I know. Well, I can't wait for everyone to like catch on to the goodness of you. Keep us posted on your community theater journey. I would love to see one of your shows if I could come
Yeah.
to Omaha.
Oh, absolutely. It'd be so great. And for all of the Haniacs listening in New York City who are like, this rent is unbelievable. It's multiple thousands of dollars. You could move to Omaha, Nebraska and have way cheaper rent. I guess you don't get like the subway and like the homeless piss
Yeah.
and all of that and not being able to see the sky. The skyscrapers are so tall, but maybe rent being lower, so even all that out
Yeah.
for you.
That is, I mean, all of these like Bushwick cosplaying blue collar wannabes. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's like
you
come
want
to Nebraska and
you
actually be a little blue collar, see what it's like.
walk the walk, cut some plasma, like
Seriously, get
you're
your
not
lasers
fooling
out.
anyone with your matcha. I don't trust any of these guys, okay? Well,
Well,
thank you
I had
so
a blast.
much.
Thank you so much for having me. This is
Of
truly one of my
course,
favorite
of
podcasts,
course.
and
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for like listening. I've always,
you truly are the best. This is so much fun. I had a blast.
that's so nice.
You have thorough, thoughtful interview questions, and you deliver them warmly and
Thank you
kindly. You
so,
know how to have conversations. I feel like the last night of after we wrapped that big wrap
yeah.
party, and then we all like went crazy and like had a dance party, and people just kept like bringing drinks and stuff. I feel like there was a time where we were just like sitting and talking to each other for like an hour or something. I'm just like, this is
Yeah.
so much fun to talk to you. You know how to
Thank
talk. You
you.
know the art of conversating, and I just feel like we're destined to be friends.
That's such a nice compliment. And you know what? I agree with you. I am a good conversationalist, okay?
Take
I'm
that compliment. Accept it.
I'm very polite. I think that I am a good conversationalist and so are you. And that last night, the last night of WAF was one of the best nights of my life. It was so fun. And in part because like we had
Just
such a good
steam. We were just
conversation.
letting off, everyone had all this steam. They had to let off steam.
The last night was crazy because everyone had all this leftover alcohol and we basically just set up an open bar in the
We were like,
lobby.
what do we do? I guess we'll
And
drink it all.
everyone went crazy. I stayed up all night. I fell asleep at like 6:30 back in my
And it
room.
was like, oh, and I have a Uber to catch today. Yeah.
Oh my God. Thankfully I didn't have to fly home that morning.
Oh, I did. It was rough.
Yeah.
I was like trying. How do you ride the line between don't fucking talk to me, I need to close my eyes, and I don't want to be an asshole. I want
Yeah.
this to be pleasant for you too, Mr. Uber driver. But it was like,
Yeah.
it was pretty rough.
Oh my God. Well, I'm so glad we got that. Thank you so much for coming on. You're welcome back to Lit Hane anytime. And I always love your feedback. Logan listens to my episodes and sends me like such like thoughtful, like funny opinions. And I love it.
Literally, if I get to the end of the episode and I'm just like, that was nice, I won't send you a message. But I get to the episode and I go, no way, did they just say that? This part really had me doing backflips. And I'll
They
listen to it at work too. So I'll be like in my lunchroom, like trying to ignore these guys talking about how Trump is the best president. And I'm just like, okay, no, hold on a
Oh
second.
my God.
I'm
Okay,
getting,
well
I'm getting my lit hang on. Don't fuck
this
with my
just
vibe.
motivated me to like actually fucking record a solo episode, which I feel like I haven't done in months because I'm
It's
like
true. Well, you have such interesting friends, and you have all these people, chomping at the bit
the
to be
guest
interviewed
lineup
by
has been
you.
great. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.